Welcome to Motorsport and Scale. In today's episode, we're going to have a look at a couple of new release products from Fat Frog Scale Models. If you've never heard of Fat Frog Scale Models, they make 3D printed parts. I think mainly for the sort of automotive genre stuff, but they might do some military stuff as well. Unsure on that. I don't do military. They're sold, as far as I am aware, the only place that sells them is through Hobby Easy out of Hong Kong. They're based out of Hong Kong as well. I think it might be the same person that runs the store. Don't know for sure though. But I became first aware of them by their 3D printed chains, motorcycle chains, like these. Sorry, I just left this in the pack. This is just an example. This isn't part of the review. And I've used them on other builds in the past, such as this bike. That's a 3D printed chain on there. Super fine detail. So that's what they make, and that's what we're going to review here today. So a couple of the products that I have today are their detail up parts they've made for the Beemax 12 scale Lotus 99T, which I did the review on, and also a couple of parts, that's some radiators and the intercoolers for that car, and also a set of radiators and intercoolers for the Meng MP4 and 12 scale, as well as you can see here, the brake set for the Meng MP4. So we're going to start with the Lotus 99T, and what you get in this one is a set of radiators. It comes in pretty nice packaging. Nice little box. It'll come in handy later. So we'll just get this out of here. It's just the radiators and the intercoolers. Make sure there's nothing in there. So yeah, it comes with two intercoolers, two radiators, and I believe this is the oil cooler. Let's get a little zoomed in here so we can have a close look at them. So they come with the rafts still on them, as we can see. And they look fairly nicely printed parts. That's what you get. This is two-sided. It's all done as one piece, which is I think why he did these ones. You see there might be some layer lines there that'll have to be cleaned up a bit. And if you can recall the detail upset for the 99T comes with photo etch for the radiators, but in the kit it doesn't come with anything. It's just the radiators. So supposedly they should be better fidelity than the ones that come in the kit. So that's the radiators. We'll just put those aside for now. Then there's the oil cooler, which is quite nice. It's hollow on the back side. There's, I think, a photo etch sheet that you use for this as well, or a built up component. This sticks it on the back of the transmission, so that should be all right. And these would be the intercoolers. They're hollow on the back. There's no detail. You can't see the back of these when they're on the vehicle, so that's fine. So again, really nice fidelity. They look like they are printed to replace the kit part as it is, and use the kit supplied top and bottom tank for the intercoolers. So there's the intercooler, and here is the kit part that it replaces. So it more accurately depicts. This is what this is the first time I looked at them side by side. Intercoolers have, unlike a radiator, the tubes that carry the air. That would be these right there. They're typically bigger, right, than a radiator for water. So this seems to, whereas on the kit part, you can see there, it's quite fine. It just is molded to look like a bit of a mesh, whereas this looks more like an actual intercooler, and the fins look a little bit more accurate. Although it's not, it's printed solid, so you can't see through it. You know, and then again, you just use the kit. Yeah, that's a pretty good view of the air fins. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Looks a little bit better detailed than this. Of course, if you get the detail set, you get photo etch for these, which, you know, may or may not look as accurate. It looks better than this typically, but this actually looks like it might be more accurate. So there we go. There's the comparison for that. And then for the radiators itself, actually I got the rest of the parts for the intercooler to see. Let's get the raft off of this one. Sorry, should have done this before. Yeah, so to get the rafts off, that's really all you need to do. He put really nice small supports on them, so you can just break them off, and then a quick swipe of the file will get that cleaned up. But so then the air tanks should fit. They look like they fit quite nice. Or sorry, not the air tanks, the top and bottom. They will fit there. Those look like they're gonna fit nicely, and then it should just fit on there. I might have that backwards, but yeah, it looks like it's gonna be a direct drop-in replacement part. Fits nice and tight on here. It's that's good. So then for the radiator, here's the kit supplied radiator. This is 2 parts. It's molded, which is good. So you don't have any ejector pin marks on the mesh part of it. But they're acceptable. Like they're well molded. They're well detailed radiators. Again, you get some photo etch mesh in the detail set, which is not included. This builds up as 2 parts. This is loose, as you can see. It'd be even looser. I haven't trimmed the little nubs there. Totally flush, so it's a bit loose. So this side, I don't know what side that is. It's probably the side facing in towards the side pod, but you still see that on this car quite easily. The radiator is visible through the side pod quite readily. So this would require a bit of work to get that fit in here and the gaps closed up and make it look acceptable. Again, it might, the way it mounts on here, it might actually hide that seam, so it wouldn't be too big of a deal. But like the kit part here is more than adequate, actually. It's a nice part. So then again, we'll look at it, compare it to the 3D printed part. You know, the fidelity just looks a little bit better. You know, this would be the back side, that would be this side here. So it looks like it's got better detail on the back side here, where there's the connection points for some hoses, so those look like they're a little bit better detailed. Details a little bit different on this end tank side. I don't know, there might be a left and right on these actually. Not sure. But yeah, like I don't think these are must-have. I don't think so. I think the kit parts are pretty decent, especially if you use the photo etch, if you have the aftermarket or the detail upset for it. The kit parts, I think, for both of these are probably adequate. The 3D printed parts, you know, they kick it up a notch for sure. I think painted up, these will detail up and look a little bit more realistic. So that's a nice touch. And when you get the body off, the radiators are pretty, and the intercoolers are pretty prominent. So, you know, worth the money. I think these were $25 Canadian for the set. So not a huge huge amount of money. This looks, I didn't actually get the oil cooler out of the kit, but just from what I'm seeing of this looks like a fairly nice part. So at least it'll be on par, better than the kit part. Again, with just a little bit finer fidelity. So, you know, that looks like a pretty nice little kit. You know, is it something you need? Are these kit parts horrible? No, they're quite nice actually. So nice to have, not necessarily not a need to have. All right, next one is the MP4 for the Meng 12 scale kit. So let's just have a look at these ones. Again, they're pretty much identical to, well, they're not identical, but very similar, I would imagine, to the, there's one of the intercoolers. I don't know if that's just a piece of crud on there. Yeah. So very finely molded. Again, this is single-sided. You can't see the back of this when it's built and installed, so you don't need that detail. It's made as a direct replacement for the kit part, which we'll find here. I didn't clip off all the parts for this one, but it's otherwise identical in terms of dimensions. The only difference is, if you can see on the kit part, is there is no radiator detail on these at all. And that's because Meng supply photo etch in the kit for the detail of the intercooler and the radiators, front and back on the radiators, which is an interesting approach. These look like they'll drop in. I'm not going to clip them off and see how tightly they fit in there, but just looking at this as I overlay it, it looks like it's going to be a direct, like a really nice tight fit. So again, out of the box, these look like, for the intercoolers at least, look like they'll be good out of the box. These a little bit more fidelity again, with the fins are definitely nicer. Hopefully, is that picking up good? I think so. Yeah, those will paint up and detail up nicely, I think. So there's the intercoolers. Now the radiators, they've done, by the looks of it, a front and back. Although they're different, well, those are different sizes too. I'll have to look at the instructions. I don't have the instructions in front of me. But it looks like, again, the detail fidelity is really sharp, really crisp. So that alone, you know, versus the photo etch, I think this definitely looks better than the photo etch. You know, the photo etch, this is way more three-dimensional, even though it's not fully all the way through. You know, the photo etch is rather two-dimensional. So I think the 3D printed part would just bump it up a bit. Again, by the looks of what's supplied in the kit by Meng, it looks good. Like, it looks decent. It's an interesting approach. I like that way of doing it. or they just went straight for the photo etch, and it looks like it'll be easy to install. And this looks like it's the back side of or the front side, and the other ones, these two are the back sides of the radiators. So here it looks like he's included some of the plumbing, which gets added to the other part of the radiator. I think these are separate pieces on the kit one. I didn't actually get that one out of the kit, so I don't know what they look like on that. I think the main selling point feature of these 3D printed radiators is the actual radiator core detail, or the intercooler core detail. These, I think they're the same price, about $25 Canadian. You know, are they a must-have? No, I don't think so. I think overall, I think what the kit gives you is adequate. It's decent. It's got the photo etch, so that's a nice little touch. So, but and then the plus on these is the fidelity of it. Those look fantastic. So there are that radiator set for the MP4-4. And then last thing we're going to look at is the brake set for the MP4-4. I think, well, I know, here are the brakes are on the same sprue. There's the calipers, the rotors, and for the spindle, or for the axle, it's simply a bolt, which a metal bolt and a nut for the wheel. Nothing spectacular there. But if we look at the calipers, they're not slide molded, so the detail on the sides is a little soft. The detail on the tops looks good. The detail on the bottom looks good as well. A couple of ejector pin marks, but that's where the rotor is, so you'll never see them. The detail on the rotor, specifically the hat, I don't know, hopefully you can see that, is actually really nice. It's nicely done. You can actually, I don't know if you can see it there or not, but there is safety wire that goes between every two bolts. So these two have a piece of safety wire, those two have a piece of safety wire, and so forth. So it's actually really nice molding there. You know, of course, the drawback in the way they've done this is just all one piece, so getting it all painted separately is going to be a bit of a challenge. But other than that, the molding on the rotor hats is actually really nice. The calipers, they look okay, except the front parts don't have a lot of detail. I'd be chopping those off and adding some detail parts for the lines anyways. Or adding some lines of some sort and some bleed nipples and so forth. So let's see what we get in the box here. I've had a quick look at these, but a lot in here. So first you get the axles. Front and rear are different. So they give you actual hollow axles with threaded ends, and then the rotors and the hats will sit on top of these. These are the nuts they give you. There's a couple broken off. They're detached when I got mine. The nuts fit on here. They don't actually have, actually they might have the threads in them, but they don't. They're kind of not a very good fit, and I don't want to stick them on to ruin the threads. So it's not really going to be, you know, something that you can put on and take off multiple times. But, you know, if you want to have a wheel off, you get super nice spindles and axle detail there. So those are nice. These are the rotor hats. Which again are really nicely molded. But, you know, as we can see, you know, the bolt detail is super crisp, but there's no safety wire detail on these. So, you know, the rotor hats that we have from the kit, in a way, have better detail, or different detail, I guess. I don't know if I'd call it better, but you know, it's certainly not bad. If you just wanted to go with the kit detail, it's a little more simplified than the 3D printed part. You can see that the hub has, or the center of the top hat part has, you know, way more holes. It's got more fidelity to it, so that's you know, kind of nice compared to the kit part. And then we get into the calipers, and you can see that the calipers are completely surrounded. So I'm going to not do that. I am going to be back in a second. All right, so here we go. We got them off. We have a closer look at the calipers. Super finely detailed. He's got the balancer, or the hose that goes from one side to the other, molded on. Really nice. Got the banjo fittings molded onto it, which, you know, if I had a choice, I'd have that as a separate piece. But I think it's definitely something you can work with. Brake pads are there, the little retaining bolts for the brake pads and the clips for the brake pads are all molded on there. Really nice. The underside is super detailed as well, with the retaining clips for them. Let's see if I can. Yeah, very well done. And you can see that you can see through them, as they were. These were in-house, built by McLaren, the real ones. They couldn't find a manufacturer at the time to build their calipers for them, so they just did it themselves, and these are their own design. I think after that they went to Brembo or AP, I can't remember. Somebody will correct me in the comments. Somebody will let me know who they went with after this, like on the MP4, 5, and 6, I believe, didn't use this design. I think they went with this. I don't know the whole story. I'm not an expert on the MP4, but like there's 2 calipers per corner. And I think it's because of the carbon brakes at the time. These are like either very early iteration of carbon rotors. And I think that's why they did that, because they thought they'd need that. I don't know for sure, though. I'm sure somebody more knowledgeable than me can chime in on that one. So this would be the backside of the rotor. Again, a little bit of cleaning. I'd throw these in chuck them up in on a rotary tool or on a lathe to smooth out the braking surfaces on them. And this is the side that the hats will go on there. There's 4 little locating pins that stick out, and then this will sit a little bit proud of the rotor, so it's well designed. It's got little seats. I don't know if you can see them. Right, you can see you know, this one here sticks down. That'll go in the locating tab, but the next one up is just got a little, it'll just sit proud. So this part here, there'll be an air gap between that and the rotor. Those will look really nice. I think that's definitely going to be an upgrade over the kit part, especially these calipers. You know, we look at the caliper. next to the kit supplied part. It's certainly a step up. So I think that's a good little upgrade, and then plus you get the brake lines and the banjo fitting, the separate rotor. It's got the detail bolts on the back side of it as well. And I think these are hollow. Yeah, they go all the way through. Really nice. You don't have, you know, the join line that you get with the two-piece rotor design from the kit. So yeah, a little bit of cleanup needed where the supports were on this end, but that's insignificant to clean up. That's a piece of cake. So these look really nice, actually. I think, you know, if you've got these on there, got the radiators on there, and the rest of the kit parts, and a little bit extra detailing, I think it would turn into a really fine looking piece. So there's a couple builds of the of this kit, the Meng MP4 that I've been seeing going on, and they're actually looking quite nice, the kit and everything. So I might have to change my opinion on it. Plus, I've had a bit of a look through the box now when I was digging this stuff out, which I really didn't do before. And how is all this in there? And it's actually looking not too bad. It's looking like it's a decent kit. So I might do a review on it in the next little while. I know it's been out for a while. I don't really want to review stuff that's been out for a long time, but I might end up building it, so I'll do sort of a pre-build review of it. So, but anyways, this is not the topic of this video. This video is about these beautiful little detail parts from Fat Frog scale models. Again, out of Hong Kong, available at Hobby Easy. Not sponsored. I paid for all this stuff myself. I just really like that shop. He stocks a ton of stuff, especially automotive stuff. He stocks everything, all genres of model making. And he makes these, or Fat Frog makes these. I don't know if it's the same place or not. I think it is, but yeah, the qualities look fantastic. So yeah, if you're looking to pick up one of these kits and do a little extra bit of detailing and bring it up to the next step, these are inexpensive upgrade parts. You know, again, I think the brakes were, I think they were $25 or so for each of these sets. So, you know, to do the MP4 that would have been $50 for those two things, Canadian, which is not bad for what that is. And who knows if anybody's going to come up with any super detail sets for these kits or not. You know, so that'll be a nice addition to the Meng. This one, the extra intercoolers and radiators for the Lotus 99T for that Beemax kit. I think that'll be a nice little addition. Just add that little bit extra to it. So another nice addition to what looks like a nice kit. So, all right, well, that's it. I thank you for watching my videos. If you liked what you saw, I'd really appreciate it if you went over and gave me a subscribe and hit the like button if you liked the video. And, you know, stay tuned for more. Take care. Bye-bye.